Alright guys, so we're going to be looking at a Mathia lesson that deals with arithmetic sequence and geometric sequences. So this is one that hopefully you guys have a chance to work on today in class. So just remember, arithmetic is I'm adding the same thing to get the next term. That same quantity is called the common difference. For geometric sequences, we're multiplying the same thing, which is called the common ratio. So like in this case, this is called an arithmetic sequence because I'm adding the same thing. I'm adding 3 to get the next term of the sequence. And in this case, this is called a geometric because we're multiplying negative 1/2 to get to the next term of the sequence. In this case, this is neither because we're adding terms to get the next term, but and there is a pattern to it, but we're not adding the same thing. So in this case, guys, on the right, we are just dragging and dropping those that are arithmetic, geometric, or neither. So like we will drag like negative 12, negative 7, negative 2, 3, and 8. We're trying to figure out, hey, is that arithmetic or is it geometric? Are we adding the same thing or are we not adding the same thing? Or are we multiplying by the same thing? So you want to look at each of these and say, okay, so what's going on here? Are we adding the same thing? What's going on between these two terms or these two terms? Are we adding the same thing or are we not? Okay. Then you're going to jump into graphs of arithmetic sequences. So you're going to be looking at these graphs and saying, oh, what do I notice about arithmetic sequences? What type of form does this have? Okay, does it form a straight line? Does it only increase the first term is negative, or does it only have 5 terms? What do we notice about each of these arithmetic sequences? Okay, what type of shape does it have? So then the graph of an arithmetic sequence with a common difference that is positive, what do we notice about these graphs right here? That's what this one is asking. What do we notice about a common difference that is negative? What do you notice about those? So the graphs of an arithmetic sequence, we will say never have points on the x-axis, will never have 2 points with the same x-coordinate, never have 2 points with the same y-coordinate. So just kind of look at that and try to figure out what's going on. In this case, we're looking at this pattern. So when I look at graph A, what is happening when I look at these y values? Like I will say that the sequence here, just to help you guys out with this, if I look, that looks like this y value is 14. Then if I look at this, it's 8. If I look at this y value, that is 2. If I look at this y value, it's negative 4. And if I look at this y value, it is negative 10. So what this next question is asking about is if I look at this graph, so this was negative, or it was 14, 8, 2, and negative 4, and negative 10. What do you notice about each of these? Is it increasing? Is it decreasing? And then if I think about this pattern, what happens if I go to the 6th term? Like as this seems like it's going down. What's going to happen? What is the 6th term going to be? And then you're going to do the same thing with this sequence B. Just notice what's going up. Well, it's 2, that's 4, that's 6, that's 8, that's 10. So tell me what's going on with that. What am I adding every time? Okay? In case, guys, we're just looking at a positive common ratio. What do we notice about those? Like with something greater than 1. When we have a common ratio between 0 and 1, what do we notice? And then if I look here, what do you notice about these y values with a negative common ratio other than 1, negative 1? So like you're just answering graph. Like when I look at these two, what do you notice? When I look at this one, what do we notice? Okay, and just kind of look at between 0 and 1 what's happening to the graphs, between 0 and 1 right here. What do you notice about the graphs? When I look at something that's greater than 1, what do you notice? And then just talk about what do you notice about the graphs of the geometric sequence. And then you're just looking at these graphs to figure out the first term. For each of these graphs, notice what's going on. What am I multiplying sequence A by? What's happening here that causes this to happen? Okay? You'll do the same thing with the other one, but hopefully this helps out.